You, yeah, you, come over here. The world's going crazy. Space time to continue on this collapse. Timelines are colliding. There are too many new games coming out in August. We have to do something. The only way to stop this is for as many people who watch this video to the end and gain critical awareness. That's the only way. I'll buy you some time.
Starting with arguably the biggest release of this month, and the game I'm most excited about it. This is the second sequel of one of the most influential RPGs ever made. On August 3rd, we have Baldurs Gate 3. I'm having a hard time curbing my enthusiasm. I've been trying not to look at any trailers and very purposefully haven't started the early access game. I'm going to be playing this game on the Steam Deck, and it's already classified as playable. I'm hoping that by the time it releases, it'll be Steam Deck verified. Also, I just saw that the early access reviews on Steam are currently overwhelmingly positive. These are all good signs. I really can't wait. For you heathens who don't know what's going on, Baldur's Gate is an isometric top-down turn-based strategy game based in the world of Dungeons & Dragons and governed by set rules. The game is being developed by Larian Studios, who you might also know from crowd favorite Divinity Original Sin, which in turn was heavily inspired by Baldur's Gate. What I'm most excited about is the battle system. I'm a big fan of Divinity 2's battle system, and it looks like Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be something very close to it. It's not just that each spell has its own specific effect, but all elements react to each other. For example, you can make it rain and a freeze a pose, plop down some oil, and launch a fireball at it. There are countless combinations, and I'm very excited to play around with it and see what's possible. On first glance, the game looks a lot like Divinity Original Sin 2, which in its own right was a beautiful game. Characters look realistic, and the world looks vibrant and colorful, especially for an isometric top-down game, but graphics usually play second fiddle. Like I said, I'm super excited for this game. I can't wait.
Make way, evil! I'm armed to the teeth and packing a hamster.
Also, on August 3rd, a lesser-known title, and somewhat unfortunately timed. Tales and Tactics. Now, I have to say, I don't think I've ever played anything like this before. The game coins itself as a roguelike, squad-based auto battler in a tabletop RPG setting. What will they come up with next? Electrical typewriters? But I'm always willing to try something new, and I'm going to keep an open mind. So, I did some research and here's what I found. You draw from a deck and put together a squad of characters. They each have their own unique abilities, strengths and weaknesses. And they also each synergize in different ways together. Using tanks, healers and attackers in different positions gives different synergies and provides different effects. And putting, for example, 3 of the same units together will create one more powerful unit. Pretty cool. I think I'm into it. Put together a squad and make your way to the Grand Tournament, the annual ultimate test of skill. Each hero's tale is different, and your quest will be guided by a game master that makes each adventure unique. Another cool thing I just read is that it's not just skills that unlock and upgrade like in most roguelikes. But after each run, we unlock more features, challenges, and mechanics. This sounds cool, the idea that the game is constantly updating and adding stuff. Not sure how this is all gonna play out, but it sounds intriguing, and I'm gonna be picking this one up for sure.
What am I wearing? I can't believe I didn't see it. It's DMV. It's spreading. Soon this way. All there is. Endless lines. Waiting. Just waiting. No, here. Run! Stupid thing. Should have gotten a walk. Run!
We go from auto battler to manual battler. Atlas Fallen on August 10th. Another highly anticipated game in the month of August. When I looked at the trailer, I had to do a double take and check the title, because I thought for a moment that I was looking at the 4 Darksiders, which made me perk up, as it is another favorite of mine, especially the protagonist, who is a spitting image of war. After my initial wrongful excitement died down a little bit, I started getting excited for what I was seeing. Atlas Funland has a lot going for itself. Kinda looks like an open world Darksiders / monster hunting game, and that's something I can certainly get behind. You play as what seems to be a nameless champion in a world devastated by a tyrannical god. You're on your way to the capital when you stumble upon a magical gauntlet that changes everything and lets you rise up as the champion that the world deserves.
Get you now.
Another thing of note is that in action-adventure games like these, nothing turns me away from the game faster than sluggish controls and traversal. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's going to be a problem with this game. Traversal and fast movement seems to be an integral part of the game. Your gauntlet lets you both fly and censor, especially this last one looks interesting, and I can't wait to give it a try. I really have nothing bad to say about this game. It looks great. Critics' reviews seem to be positive, and the price is right, $50. If it holds up half as well as it sounds, I'm here for it. I never heard much about auto battlers, and now I have 2 on the list. On August 17th, there is Dwarfs Glory, Death and Loot. With a name like that, at first glance, this game reminds me a lot of a little old game I used to play on the PSP called Padapon. Like in Tales and Tactics, this game seems to revolve around synergies between your different units, and having them in the right spot at the right time. If you've ever played Darkest Dungeon, at devilishly hard roguelike, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You start as a novice commander with 2 dwarves, weak gear, and rudimentary combat abilities. Through battle, gain gold experience, hone your battle skills, recruit more warriors, and triumph over your enemies. This game looks cool, and it uses a nice pixel art style. Pixel art is a little overdone nowadays, but I think it works for this kind of game. The dwarves and enemies look like little caricatures with big noses, heads, and giant weapons. And the art style really pops, with colorful backgrounds and cool little animations. This game certainly looks fun, but I'm still not completely sold on the whole auto battlegrounds. I love my strategy games, both real-time and turn-based. The fact that you're not doing much of anything during the levels doesn't feel right. I'm going to keep a close eye on the reviews and see what people think. Or maybe, if I get really curious, I'll check out the demo and see. Now we're moving on to something completely different. Some might call it a walking simulator. Some might call it scary. I call it pure and unadulterated fun. That is, if the game's as good as I hope it will be. Talking about Fort Solace, August 22nd. When I'm saying walking simulator, I mean that in the best possible way. I'm talking about games like What Happened to Edith Finch and Firewatch. And Fort Solace especially reminds me of that last one, even though the setting is completely different. The isolation aspect and the eerie atmosphere seem very similar. You arrive at Fort Solace, a remote mining base on Mars, responding to an odd distress call. The storm is brewing as you head inside to make contact. Oh, fair enough, we all see where this is going. The developer describes it as a uniquely singular cinematic experience, told chapter by chapter like a Netflix show. So, I imagine this is going to be something like the Telltale game, and I'll be disappointed if choice isn't gonna matter in this game. Awesome lighting effects, smoke, and character details are par for the course. If this game hasn't wormed itself into your heart yet, let me try a different tactic. The cast of this game is top-notch. We're talking people like Roger Clark, who played Arthur Morgan in Red Dead Redemption 2, and Troy Baker, who was Joel in The Last of Us. Walking simulators and horror both have a special place in my heart. As this is both, I have no other option as to pick it up as soon as it releases. Next up, something we haven't seen on this list yet. A first-person shooter. On August 22nd, Immortals of Aveum, a single-player, first-person magic shooter. Just yesterday, I finished up Ghostwire Tokyo. When I saw the trailer of Aveum, I got some very strong flashbacks to that game. Not necessarily a bad thing, but we've seen a lot of magical shooters lately, and not all of them good. And I hope this one can stand tall among the mediocrity. At first glance, this looks like a pretty standard first-person shooter, but instead of weapons, you use magical finger guns. Upon further inspection, however, I think there is more to this game than meets the eye. The world building and story look good, with an interesting looking magical world and intriguing characters. We play as Jack when he joins an elite order of battle mages, the Order of Immortals, the champion protectors of Lucia, to save a world on the edge of abyss. Well, they had me at battle mages.
Dad, I thought I was going to be the wizard.
On top of it all, this is developed by the director of Dead Space and Call of Duty. What could possibly go wrong? Well, there's one thing. This is an EA game. EA, in recent years, has not been known for awesome single-player experiences. But I'm willing to overlook that little fact when the game looks decent. Aside from being an EA game, I have to say, this game looks pretty darn good. The spellcasting looks flashy and fun, world building looks good, and the characters and story look intriguing. Let's see how this plays out. Ha! I think I figured out how to stop the DMV. All we need is the directly opposing force, something that takes their power away. That's not. Ha! Here it is. We go from the somewhat lighter content of Aveum to a much darker and gory game. On August 24th, there is Blasphemous 2. I was a big fan of the original Blasphemous. I never finished it, however, because I wasn't good enough at getting good, as they say. I've never really had the patience for these really hard kind of games, especially now that I have so little time for them. When I play a game, I just want to feel all-powerful and kick ass non-stop. Nevertheless, I already know I'm going to be picking this one up, even though it's going to be kicking my ass instead. The original was a Souls-like Metroidvania with a really dark atmosphere. Like I said, the first game was difficult. Oh, I think it is, but I could just be bad at video games. Either way, I'm expecting more of the same from number 2. Step back in the shoes of the penitent one, as we join him in his quest to end the cycle once and for all. I'm not sure what the cycle is, as I didn't get that far in the last one. More weapons, more gore, bigger bosses, and a bigger world to explore. If you enjoy Souls-like games and the cycle of death and retries that comes with this type of game, and you're not opposed to some gore in your 2D platform, there's just no argument to not pick this up. Or don't you like fun? Don't you? Alright, another big release on August 24th. And one that I'm personally very excited about as well. It's a toss-up between this and Baldurs Gate 3. I'm talking about Armored Core 6. Armored Core 5 came out right around 2012 for the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Sadly, I missed it. I love giant robot battles, and Pacific Rim is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I'm not even sure why I missed it. 5. For that very reason, I'm going to make very sure I'm not missing this. When I think of mechs, you always imagine these giant hulking machines, slowly and ponderously moving towards each other. Every once in a while shooting some rockets and lasers. Maybe use a shield or some anti-air weapons. I couldn't be further from the truth with this game. The mechs look imaginative and fantastical, reminding me of a cross between insects and animals. Also, these mechs seem to be moving faster than a gazelle being chased by a lion. Mechs take massive leaps that land and use jetpacks to glide across the landscapes, like a ballet for giant robots. The game's being developed by From Software, known for the revered Elden Ring, Dark Souls games. And I bet the difficulty on this one is going to be blistering. And the customization of these mechs is likely going to be more difficult than getting my tablet back to normal after letting my kids play on it.
What language is this?
And on top of it all, there seems to be a surprisingly intriguing story, especially for a mech game. But the story usually doesn't go further than, go shoot up this guy because he looked at me angry. So yes, I think this is going to be another surefire pickup for me. And it looks like a sure bet for anybody who's into mechs, robots and vehicular combat. Skipping to August 29th, we have the new game from Quantic Dream, Under the Waves. You might know these guys from little titles like Among Humans, Beyond Two Souls, and of course Heavy Rain. Or even further back with the earth-shattering Fahrenheit, and I still vividly remember the fight scene where he discovers his superpowers. Needless to say, this is another game I'm looking forward to. I know I sound like a broken record, love my games, alright? This looks like somewhat of a departure from the other projects. In solitude, under the water, in your submarine. It looks like a more contained and smaller story, unlike the world-altering events from the other games. You're Stan, a professional diver living in the north, struggling to overcome a life-changing loss during an extended mission. Of course, soon you'll start to experience strange events and happenings and you'll need to make difficult decisions. Like for Solace earlier, this is a narrative-driven adventure game. The underwater visuals look gorgeous, and the submarine looks suitably claustrophobic. I'm getting very strong Subnautica vibes, a similar claustrophobia-inducing game. I know both of these games are underwater sub-driving games, so parallels are easily drawn. But I just mean to say that the atmosphere in this game seems spot on.
Peter, this is future you. Do not eat the chocolate.
Crap! The timelines are bleeding together. We need to hurry! Quantum Dream, in my opinion, hasn't made a bad game yet. Judging from everything I've seen so far, I'm gonna keep that streak going. It's a good month for horror games, as this is the second one on the list. Or maybe the third, if you count Blasphemous. And on August 29th, we have Daemon. This is a game I am hesitantly looking forward to. The first of this series was met with a mediocre reception, because of lackluster story and somewhat copycat gameplay. And this second one possibly looks more of the same, but I'm hoping that they've improved upon the criticisms of the first game. We're looking at a survival horror style game, which very much takes its cues from the 90s horror games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill. And judging from the trailer, this all gets combined with a healthy dose of Dead Space. We step into the shoes of Delilah Reyes, a former government spy, as she enters the most advanced experimental research center in the USA, where naturally, things have gone horribly wrong. Never heard of these games until I started researching the games for August. And I am a sucker for horror games, so I took one look at this game and immediately bought Dayman 1998, the first in the series. I haven't played it yet, but I'm gonna try this before deciding on buying the second one. From the looks of it, it's going to be a very B-movie-like game. More than likely cheesy and over the top. I can't tell from the trailer, but I hope they leave out the technical skills and go with something a little more modern. Other than that, I'm excited for this. Also, since I want as many people to play horror games as possible, this one looks to be on the lower price range. See it listed for $40. You can't go wrong with a price like that. Last but not least, a smaller game from a well-known series. One that I'm personally excited to check out. On August 31st, Trine 5, A Clockwork Conspiracy. These feel-good Disney-esque platformers have always been close to my heart. Over the years, I've played all of them, even the lesser, Trine 3 and 4. From the looks of things, if you're familiar with any of the Trine games, you'll be well at home. We'll once again be taking control of the three heroes from the previous games. Amadeus the Wizard, Zoya the Thief, and Pontius the Knight, and use their unique skills to traverse the levels, solve physics puzzles, and save the kingdom. A big part of what I've always loved about the Trine series is the beautiful atmospheric soundtrack, and judging from the trailer, this is not going to disappoint. The only thing that currently curbs my enthusiasm for this game a little bit is that the Trine formula is getting a bit stale. We still have the same three heroes with most of the same skills. If I squint my eyes enough, I could be looking at the original Trine, so I hope they have some surprises left in store for us. Having said that, I'm probably still gonna pick this one up on day one, unless the reception is decidedly negative. Ha! Suck it, DMV. I'll wait all you want. It's working! It's working!
Oh. I think everything's back to normal. Thank God.
those are just some of the games coming to Steam, PC, and Steam Deck in August. Also, if you want bigger bicep, check out this video. Hope to see you in the next one.